Hey guys, it's Tennis with Tyler, and today we are going to be going over the checkpoints of the one and two-handed backhand. Not only will we be going over them, but we will be going over how to get into each and every checkpoint. So make sure to stay tuned. If you guys watch this whole video, then you will know every single checkpoint that there is and how to get into it. So let's get started. So what are the checkpoints of a two-handed and one-handed backhand? Let's do the two. Take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. Take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. Take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. Now let's do the one hand. Take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. Take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. Take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. So we went over each and every checkpoint. Now let's get over how to get into each checkpoint and how to make sure that you are in the proper position. Now, for the backhand take back, there are two things that you need. Number one, you want your strings pointing to the side. And number two, you want the tip of your racket, pretend there's a laser, right? Pointing towards the back fence, pointing back behind you, okay? So when I take this racket back, my strings are pointing to the side and the tip of my racket is pointing back behind me, directly straight ahead back behind me. Now, where too many players go wrong with checkpoint number one, and again, it all starts with the first checkpoint. If you don't accomplish checkpoint number one, you're not going to establish checkpoints 2, 3, 4, or 5, is that players, they either go like this. Look, my strings aren't to the side. The tip of the racket isn't pointing back behind me, right? They go like this and they have no swing, or they go back behind them. Look, is my strings facing the side? No. And the racket tip is pointing to the side, right? This isn't right as well. The reason why here is if I take the racket back here, I'm coming around the ball, right? If I take the racket back here, I have no leverage. Same thing for the one-handed backhand as well. Now, for the one-hander, I like it better because you can position your racket into the proper place with your non-dominant hand. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull your racket. I'm not taking the racket back with my right hand. I'm pulling this racket back with my non-dominant hand to align it in the proper position. Now, tell me, is it in the proper position? You tell me, is it? Well, what are we doing? Well, Tyler, you taught me two things, right? What are we thinking? Strings are to the side. Yes, tip of the racket is pointing backwards, right? Say if I'm hitting straight over here, right? So you guys could say, my strings is facing you guys, right? It's facing to the side. The tip of the racket is pointing backwards. So for the two or one-hander, strings to the side, tip of the racket backwards, you are in the proper position. Notice when I take my racket back, that also makes my body be sideways. You guys need to make sure that your body is sideways as well. I can't just go like this, right? No, I need to take my racket back, body sideways, strings to the side, tip pointing backwards, and then I am good to hit, okay? So that is checkpoint number one. Now we're going to go over checkpoint number two. It is the drop, okay? Too many players, they don't drop the racket. If you don't drop the racket, then your ball is going super long or it's going in the net. Tennis is a low to high motion. Think 12 o'clock's up here, 6 o'clock's down here. You want to go from 6 to 12 every single time. Low to high, let it fly, let it hit the sky. Don't use mine. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a rapper. But again, you need to go low to high. The drop allows you to get under the ball. Now, not only am I going to check if we are still recording, which we are, I am going to get a ball. So just so you guys can see it, if I don't drop this racket, right? If I don't drop this racket, look, I'm coming on top of the ball, right? I need to position my racket to get under the ball when I hit. I want to be square at contact, but I'm not coming on top of the ball. I'm getting under the ball. So I need to drop my racket to get below the ball. Now, how do we drop the racket? It's not rocket science. Too many players think it is. In order to, what's checkpoint number one? Take back, strings are to the side, tip the racket pointing backwards or one-hander. We'll do a two-hander first. When I drop, all I need to do is I need to get the racket tip below my waist. You see that? Or, as you guys can see, the racket tip is lower than my hands. Horizontal, diagonal. Horizontal, diagonal. Now, how do I drop? How do I get in this position? All you guys have to do, and if you guys have ever seen Frozen, or if your kids watch Frozen, or your cousins watch Frozen, let it go, right? No, I'm not a singer, but you need to let the racket go. Watch, this is how you drop, right? Take the racket back, and I just drop my hands. By releasing my hands, by letting gravity do the work, by letting my racket go, it will allow me to drop, okay? So I take my racket back with my left hand for the one-hander, and then I just drop the racket. I drop the racket down. Pretend the tip of your racket is weighted, right? The tip of the racket's weighted. When I let go, it's just going to fall down, right? So I need to take the racket back. Tip of the racket is pointing back behind me, right? And then once I'm done, the tip of the racket is pointing towards the ground. It's not pointing straight to the ground. The drop's not vertical. It's diagonal. So I take the racket back, then I drop. Again, I take the racket back, then I drop. I take the racket back, then what do? I relax my hands and drop, okay? So not only is the tip of my racket facing downward, but look, my butt cap is facing forward. So a great way to ensure that you drop is once you're done, pretend the butt cap, it should be pointing directly to the moon, right? When I take the racket back and I drop, look, my butt cap, the red butt cap, is pointing up in diagonal to the sky. Take back, drop, and then follow through, or contact extension, then follow through. So that is checkpoint number 2. To drop for the one-handed backhand, you're going to pull it back, and then you're going to relax your hand, right? You're going to relax, you're in the right position, so you can get under the ball when you hit. Or for the two-hander, take back, you're going to relax your hands, and now you're in the proper position. Again, you want the tip of the racket in checkpoint number 1 pointing back behind you. In checkpoint number 2, you want it pointing down. Back behind you for checkpoint number 1, checkpoint number 2, you want to point it down. Now, once you get to checkpoint 2, that means we're below the ball now, right? We're in checkpoint number 2, we're below the ball. That means we're coming low to high. Now we have to get contact. Now, where is contact when you hit? Now, where is contact when you hit? Contact is out in front and away from your body. Notice, this is where I want my contact. Again, out in front and away from my body. Too many players out in front and away from my body for the one-hander. Too many players, they make contact in here, super close here. That's not good. You're going to get jammed, or contact way too far. No, you want it to be out in front and away from your body. So how do we do that? If I turn with the racket super close to the body, I'm going to make contact super close to my body. If I turn with the racket away from my body, you see there's distance. Look at all this distance, right? Now I can make contact for the one-hander away from my body and for the two-hander away from the body. So when I turn, I want to turn with space. Not like baseball, but I want to have my elbows bent. I don't want to be super close. I want my elbows bent, so then when I make contact, it's out in front of my body. Now notice, take back checkpoint number 1, drop number 2, contact is number 3. When you make contact, you want your strings to be square at contact when you hit, okay? So take back, drop, square at contact, out in front and away from the body. Now, when do you make contact? You want to make contact early. I want you to think, if you let this ball come to you, you're going to get jammed. If you go to the ball, you're going to get it out in front. So by doing checkpoints number 1 and 2, by taking the racket back, that's going to prepare you earlier, so then you can get your contact out more in front. So again, if you do checkpoints number 1 and 2, checkpoint number 3 should not be that hard. The reason why players have trouble with their contact is because they don't do it. They wait for checkpoint number 1, right? So the ball's coming, then they finally take the racket back, and then they get jammed up. If you do the take back, then you drop, then when you make contact, you will always be out in front, okay? And I just want to show you contact here, 2 and one-hander, contact over here, 2 and one-hander, right? Or 1 and two-hander, contact over here. You see how it's out in front and away from my body, okay? So take back, pointing back, tip of the racket's pointing back, drop, tip of the racket's pointing down, contact out in front of my body. That's checkpoint number 3. Now, here is where players go wrong. They have contact and then they just swing, right? So they have take back, drop, contact, and then they swing. Their ball's going to go super short. They're not going to have power. They're going to be inconsistent. And the reason why is because so many players, they miss checkpoint number 4. Do you guys remember checkpoint number 4? It is the number 1 thing that too many players miss. Checkpoint number 4 is extension. After you make contact, you have to extend. Not only do you want to swing low to high, but you need to swing out and up. Think about it, right? I want to swing low to high to lift the ball over the net, but I need power to get that ball to penetrate in the court. So by swinging forward and up, I'm getting that ball deep into the court. So again, take back, drop, contact. Now, I want to swing out forward and then up. I want to extend so I can get that ball deep into the court. So, take the racket back, I'm going to drop, I'm going to make contact, then I'm going to extend forward, and then I'm going to follow through. When you guys extend, I want you to think that you're not just hitting through one ball. I want you to think that you're hitting through 1, 2, and 3 balls. So watch. Do my take back, then I drop, then I make contact, then I swing through 1, 2, 3 balls forward, and then I follow through. Same thing for the one-hander. Take back, drop, contact down front, 1, 2, 3 balls and swing forward. So I don't want you to think that I'm just swinging through one. I want you to think that I'm swinging through 1, 2, 3 balls, right? I want to swing out forward and then I want to swing up. So I want you to watch this. String at the tip of the racket. I want you to watch this. Tip of the racket is pointing backwards. Now tip of the racket's pointing down. Now strings are forward clearly. Right now, when I extend, where is the tip of my racket? Now, the tip of my racket for take back is backwards. But now when I extend, now the tip of the racket is forwards, right? So you want to point the tip of your racket back, point it down, contact, string square. Now point the tip of the racket forward that you extend, and then finish forward. So a great way to ensure that you extend is not only if you're a kinetic learner, if you're a visual learner, you're hitting through 3 balls, so a great way to ensure that you extend is not just hitting through 3 balls, but to make sure that you're swinging so forward that the tip of the racket is pointing towards your opponent, and then follow through. So again, I want to take back, I want to drop, contact down front, keep on pointing the tip of the racket forward, and then follow through. I want to make my stroke long, right? It's a stroke. It's not a jab, right? It's not something short. It's long. So by pointing the tip of the racket forward for your extension, making it long and forward will make you much more consistent. So that is checkpoint number 4. Now, after we get through checkpoint number 4, and just to review, take back's checkpoint number 1, drop is number 2. We're getting under the ball, square at contact. Now we're extending forward, pointing the tip of the racket out, right? We're throwing the tip of the racket out. Now what do we have to do? The follow through. Now, here's the thing. So many players, they do checkpoints 1 through 4, but they forget checkpoint number 5. Checkpoint number 5 is the follow through. So now for the one-hander, what you can do is when you finish, you want to hold your finish, okay? Once again, when I hit this ball for the one-hander, watch when I hold my finish. A great way to ensure that you finish properly is look at the racket. This is called the left side of the letter V. Here, look. So here's the left side, here's the right. You guys see that V? Once I'm finished with my racket, I want to hold my racket up that if I put my arm, it would be the left side of the letter V. I want to hold my finish up here. Too many players where they go wrong is that they finish the racket here or that they stop. If you stop, it's going to go long. You want to finish left side of the letter V for the one-hander. Or if you roll your wrist, you can keep it this way as well. But you want to finish up, right? You want to finish higher than when you took your racket back. So watch this. I take my racket back here, right? You guys see this height? It's here. Now when I finish, my racket is higher than when I took the racket back. Again, I take the racket back here. When I finish, it is higher. You want to finish high. That ensures that you are getting under the ball and that you're letting the racket go. Now, for the two-handed backhand, once you're done and you follow through, watch what I'm going to do. You guys see my elbows? One more time. Take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. Look at my elbows. Both of my elbows are pointing towards you. You want both your elbows up and towards the court. You don't want it to the side, right? Because if your elbows are to the side, that means you're coming around the ball. No right angle. You want both of your elbows up and in front, pointing towards your target. Now, wherever you point your elbows to, the ball is going to go. So once again, once I'm done with my two-handed backhand, I want to point both my elbows up and towards the target, okay? Another way to ensure that the racket is followed through, for both of the shots, look, or if I finish this way, to follow through, is So another way to ensure that I follow through for my two-handed backhand is once I'm done, look, I'm touching the racket with my back, right? So take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. I touch my back with the racket. Take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. Touch my back with the racket. Not only can you touch your back, so we have the elbows, we have the touch back, or look at the tip of my butt cap. Look at my butt cap. Where is it facing? It's facing you guys, or it is facing the court. So by pointing the butt cap, by touching your back, or pointing your elbows up, that is going to ensure that you have the proper follow through. The proper follow through, make sure that you let your racket do the work, and it ensures that you have went low to high. So again, take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through, elbows up, or take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through, left side of the letter V, or if you hit topspin, you could hold it out here. But again, especially for the one-handed backhand, because you don't have the elbows, you want to finish with the racket higher than when you took back. Again, for the one-hander, you're going to finish it up here, left side of the letter V, or you can roll your backhand as well, but make sure you finish up. Make sure you hold your finish, right? Too many players, again, they stop it, and then the balls go super long, or they have no power. So two-hander, boom, or one-hander. So now to finish off this video, we're going to be going over some shots of me hitting the two-handed and one-handed backhand, okay? So the two, take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. Take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. Take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. It's kind of too fast to say, right? We're going to do the one-handed backhander as well. Here we are, let's go. Take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. And I do the left side of the letter V, right? Got to drop, extension, follow through. So if you can think again, take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through, you're going to be much better off. Let's do two-hander, then one-hander. Contact, extension, follow through, elbows up. Now I'm pointing the tip of the racket forward. Elbows up, right? It's much easier when someone's hitting it to you, but so you guys could see exactly how to do it. Now, guys, we went over every single checkpoint and how to get in each checkpoint. If you can get in each and every checkpoint, then you will have a much better backhand. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comments below. Have a good one, guys. Make sure you get in these backhand checkpoints, and happy hitting.